Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning to those who are watching us from both YouTube and Facebook Live. Hi, I'm Mr. Shafiq, the moderator for today's session. My heart is pumping hard. I'm so nervous. This is my first time as moderator, but hopefully I'll be able to survive in this 2 hour session, inshallah. Of course, I would like to thank Yayasan Sultanah Bahiyah, Yayasan Inisiatif Membangun Pendidikan dan Amal Kebajikan IMPAK, and Majlis Guru Cemerlang Negeri Kedah for making this session possible. Thank you very much. Today, with us, we have 4 English teachers who have been heavily involved with all the sessions. We have the pillar, Mr. Zanurin bin Muhammad Safar from SMK Sultan Badli Shah Kulib. Mr. Zanurin, maybe you want to wave a bit. Hi.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning, all.
Waalaikumsalam. Okay, he did share a lot on how to set up your target, and I believe he has more to share today. And next up is Mr. Imran bin Muhammad Sa'ad from SMA Fauziyan. How are you, Imran?
Assalamualaikum. Good morning, everyone. I'm fine. Thank you, Mr. Good.
Okay, maybe you need to bring up your volume a bit. Okay, I'm sure all of you still remember just last week, Mr. Imran had presented tips on answering a reading paper. Thank you, Mr. Imran, for being with us again today. And our third panelist is Madam Nur Aiman binti Ahmad Tajuddin from SMK Kejohari Sungai Petani. Aiman, are you ready?
Assalamualaikum. Good morning, everyone. I think I am. Hopefully, I am.
Yeah. Hopefully you are ready. Okay, see, she's so pumped up right now. Okay, everyone, Madam Aiman also had a session on speaking a few weeks ago. I hope everyone still remember her technique, Sora. Okay, and finally, we have on top left We have Madam Sahara binti Abdullah from SMK Jerai. Sahara, say something to the viewers.
Assalamualaikum and very good morning to everyone.
Waalaikumsalam. Okay, so that is Madam Sahara from SMK Jerai. Proud of Bali. Okay,
Sounds
and
like a
she did presented on tips in
have a
answering
great
listening
show.
paper. Okay, but everyone, please bear with me because today's session we are not going to share slides. Okay, just like we did previously. Okay, at least for a few parts. Okay, but today we would like to entertain questions. Okay, questions from the audience, from the students, okay, viewers out there, and um, we are going to highlight the answers to the frequently asked questions because obviously these panelists, all of them, they are well experienced. They've been to many schools, okay, giving talk, giving answering techniques. Okay, so they have gathered lots of questions from the students. So we're going to bring it up today. Okay, hopefully it's going to help all of you out there. And let's see if you have any kind of questions, please type it in the live chat later on. Okay, and just a reminder, okay, we will go through the session part by part, meaning that we're going to start with part one. Okay, part number one will be focused on reading paper one. Okay, then we move to part number two, writing. Part number three, speaking, and the last part going to be listening. Okay, and I would advise all of you to listen first to the questions that we are going to discuss. Okay, then let's say, okay, the one that you had in your mind, the question that you had in your mind doesn't come up, doesn't pop up in our discussion, please, okay, type in the live chat. Okay, we will try to answer your questions. Okay, I don't think I need to talk more. Okay, because there are lots of other people going to share their opinions, going to share their answers. Okay, without wasting more time, let's go to part number one. Okay, which is going to be reading. Okay, ready, panels?
Ready?
Okay, good. Okay, so for reading, I have these questions. Okay, many of the students and some of them were asking because this is reading questions. Okay, it involves text. Okay, it involves English text. Okay, English text, and the most popular questions from my student would be how to know the meanings of the words in the text and questions. They are perplexed, they are confused. Okay, sometimes they have limited vocabulary. So, Mr. Imran, can you help us with the questions?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Moderator, Mr. Shafiq. Assalamualaikum. Very good morning to all of you. Can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Imran.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. All right. So I can see that one of the students have asked the same question asked by Mr. Shafiq there. All right. Very good. Excellent. Okay. Again, the question is how to know the meanings of the word in the text and questions. Of course, in your SPM paper, then you have to know the meaning of the words if you want to answer correctly. If you want to have the confidence to answer the questions correctly. All right. So what can you do? What to do is please always look for clues in the context, right? And you can look for the clues in the words or sentences before or after the word itself. So try to guess the meaning, try to find the synonym, okay, or try to find the meaning in Malay if you can, based on the context. All right. But first thing first, what I taught my student is by for them to prepare for it by utilizing their textbooks because everything should come from your textbook. It is in your syllabus. So the words are actually in your textbook, in your test book, in your workbook. All right. So be prepared beforehand. Okay. So while during the exam itself, look for clues in the context before and after. And then you can also look for the clues in the word itself. Okay. maybe you understand the root word. So if it has prefixes imbuhan sebelum, imbuhan awalan, imbuhan akhiran, okay, probably you can find the root word first if you know the root word. If the given word is a root word, maybe you know other words, the words that has the prefix and suffix yang ada imbuhan awalan ataupun imbuhan akhiran. So please remember the three things. Alright, be prepared beforehand. Alright, with words from your textbook, workbook, from your teachers, from your friends, and then look for clues from the previous and after sentences or words, and then look for clues at the words itself. Probably it is in good word, or look at any prefix or suffixes imbuhan. Okay, I hope this is clear for you guys.
Okay, thank you, Imran. So that was an explanation from Mr. Imran how to know the meanings of the words in the text and questions. Okay, because he is the expert in reading. Okay, as we all know. No, is it no? Yes. Okay, Mr. Imran, I want to ask another questions. Okay, another questions. For part number 4. Okay, for part number 4, we have like a gap text, right? Okay, gap text. Okay, they given you a text. They pull out some of the sentences, and for that part, how to detect the clues for gap text?
Alright, so actually, the first main tips is actually the same as when you are trying to determine the meaning of the words, because when you are trying to find the gap in the text itself, you actually have to understand the previous sentence and actually the sentence that comes after the gap. Okay, sebelum dan juga selepas. You have to understand that first. And then of course you have to understand the missing sentences themselves. Semua pilihan jawapan tu kamu kena tahu maksud dia juga. Okay, but there are some clues, there are some tips yang mana kamu boleh guna selain daripada tahu maksud-maksud ayat. For example, you can look at the article. If you remember article, and, the. Okay, for example, kalau ayat sebelum, I saw a man walking, blah 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 blah, and then gap. And then ada ayat selepas tu, the man ke, alright, ke he ke. So dalam ayat yang hilang tu, the missing text, the missing sentence, it can be the man. Okay, the man could be the answer. He also can be the answer. Alright, so that is the clue. Or next, the second one is you can look at the tenses. Okay, ingat tenses, present tense, simple present, future tenses, alright, past forms, alright, semua benda tu kamu boleh tengok previous sentence and then the sentence after the gap and also the answer options. Kalau ayat sebelum is in past forms, so probably and it should be, okay, the words, the missing sentence should also be in past form, simple past. If the sentence before and after is in present form or future form, probably the missing sentence also could be in past form, in future form. So basically it should be in the same tense. Okay, and then remember, no one clue fits all. Okay, you must use several clues to find the answers. Find the meanings first, and then look at the articles. Kalau tak ada clue yang tu, look at the tenses. Tengok tenses dia pula. Alright, and then look for reference. For example, this. Kalau ayat sebelum THIS, this. Maybe yang dalam ayat yang hilang, the missing sentence, it should be singular noun. Okay, ayat selepas, ayat sebelum, these, THESE, plural. So meaning the thing, the subject ataupun the noun in the missing sentence should be in plural. So those are the clues that you should utilize. You should try to use all of them or most of them, or maybe if you are lucky, only one of them is enough for you to find the missing sentence. So try them before your SPM so that during your SPM, you can get it just like that. Right? Inshallah.
Okay, thank you again, Mr. Imran. Maybe the other panels, you have more
Yeah,
tips on answering gap text?
yeah,
Mr.
I would
Z?
like to add. Okay, so to all the candidates, like what Mr. Imran said, actually Mr. Imran's tip focuses on the text itself. Okay, so saya nak share another tip. Okay, I am still talking about part 4. the gap text yang memang mencabar, okay, challenging for many candidates. So my focus will be on the options. As you know, you have option A, B, until, ish. Okay, so using the tips which Mr. Imran shared, okay, sama saja. Okay, for example, when you read the options, okay, pay attention to singular plural, like what Mr. Imran said. Okay, in the text, if let's say the sentence before the question is talking about something singular, okay, make sure what can fit well, what can fit in accurately, mestilah benda yang singular juga. Okay, and that's number one. Number two, Mr. Imran also said about tenses, present tense, past tense. So samalah dalam option. Okay, in the option A, to ish. Okay, option itu juga they use tenses. So you have to pay attention. You have to be very careful. Okay, some sentences in the options are simple present tense, uses simple present tense. Some sentences use past tense. So, katalah dalam paragraph, dalam perenggan di teks tu, perenggan kedua, semua dalam past tense, okay, dalam past tense. So, the option most probably should be also in past tense. Okay, and just like what Mr. Imran said, the noun, okay, the pronoun, okay, sometimes the first word in the option is very important. Contoh, he. Dalam option, katalah option D, dia mula dengan he. Pronoun juga penting. You have to pay attention to the pronoun he atau they yang kamu boleh kaitkan dengan ayat-ayat sebelum, okay, di dalam teks. Alright, Mr. Syafiq? Okay, Mr. Shafiq is not here. So anyway, let's proceed. Okay.
Shafiq is there.
Right, Syafiq.
Okay.
Relax. I'm just checking my camera. There's something happened to the camera. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Z. Any other opinions, panels? If no, we just proceed to our next questions. Okay, which is going to be still on reading. Okay, still on reading. And I think this is no other person will answer these questions. Okay, Imran. Okay, we already discussed part number 4. Okay, we are moving into part number 5.
Yeah.
I have this one student who asked me, what can I do to help me find the words to fill in the blanks in part 5? Because they are not in the same context as they are in the text. This is a question from my own students. Imran, can you help them?
Okay, hopefully I can help to clear this up for your students. All right, the first thing first, what I taught my student is before you look at the question, before you try to fill in the blanks, okay, all right, for part 5B, okay, please scan the text. Okay, sorry, scan the question first. Look at the question first, understand the question first, and try to answer the question with your own words first. Cuba jawab dengan perkataan sendiri dulu. Why? Because when you try to answer with your own words, you are actually focusing on what to scan, what to find, apa yang nak kena cari dalam petikan. Bila kamu cuba jawab sendiri dulu. So try to answer, try to fill in the blanks with your own answers first. If you are lucky, if you are proficient enough, probably you are putting in the same answers as the words in the text itself. But kalau tak bernasib baik sangat pun, at least you are on the right track. You are probably writing the synonyms, perkataan seerti untuk apa yang ada di dalam teks. And then to understand the words in the text itself, please remember the context. Look at the context first. Alright, look at the sentences before and after. Tengok ayat sebelum dan selepas. Fahamkan ayat sebelum dan selepas. It's okay in Malay ke or in other words that you understand. Try to understand the meaning first, and then you try to see whether the words that you guess that you find in the text, adakah sama, adakah bersesuaian? Is it suitable untuk dimasukkan, to be put in the blank itself? Okay, and then of course you read the whole sentence in the answer script. Tengok, is it suitable? Is it okay? Does it make sense? Okay, I hope it is clear for all of you and of course Mr. Shafiq's student.
Okay, Imran. Okay, thank you. Lots of questions yet answered by Mr. Imran, and I see Sahara is waiting. When is my turn? When is my turn?
Can I add a
Okay,
little bit,
Sarah.
Shafiq?
Yeah,
Do you
sure.
mind?
Please.
I would like to add something. Actually, the sentence given in
Mm-hmm.
part 5B, okay, the sentence given is not going to be entirely different context. No. For example, you need to highlight certain keywords from the sentence in part 5B. For example, in the sentence it written, contohnya, needy people. Okay, to the needy. But in the text, it's written people who are in need. If you try to identify the keywords from the sentence first, then from the text you try to figure out where can you find all of these keywords from that particular sentence written in one text. Then you'll be able to find lah. The answer should be sebelum apa keyword ke, selepas keyword ke, and then you try and guess to match. Yang mana satu yang masuk dengan the rest of the sentence. Yang mana akan complement the rest of the sentence. Even though kalau kata you tak faham. Contohnya in the sentence, dalam soalan tu dia tulis aid. Okay, financial aid to the
Okay.
needy. But in the text, it's written help. So aid and
Mm-hmm.
help is the same thing. So
Yeah.
actually, you know a lot. I'd like to remind you, you know a lot of words in English because you have been learning for 11 years. Focus on what you know. Try to guess the meaning. Use the context. Use the words that you know to try and formulate, a clue. Jangan nak fokus satu perkataan you tak tahu. Teacher, I tak tahu ni. High order punya word ni, teacher. Tak boleh pikir lagi lah. Jangan macam tu. Focus on what you know. Perkataan ni I tahu, perkataan ni I tahu, ini I tahu. Agak-agak apa maksudnya? Okay? Alright, that's it. Syafiq, proceed.
Okay, great tips. Okay, great tips by Teacher Aman, because most of our students, what they had in mind is they're having problem with certain words. Sometimes they just stop there. They just stop there. So we focus to what we know. Okay, Sahara. Okay, this is question for you, Sahara. Of course, in reading we have multiple choices questions. And what kind of clues to help candidates to get the correct answers?
Okay, thank you, Shafiq, for this question. I will answer this question and I also add for other parts, okay, which
Okay,
I
sure,
feel that
sure.
I need to share. Okay, for this multiple choice question, I think students can pay attention to the options, which are like A, B, C, and all these D. Okay, tengok option A, B, C, D, and fokus kepada perkataan-perkataan such as only, never, every, not, anytime. Okay, sebab sometimes these answer options yang letak tu yang menyebabkan the answers are become wrong. Okay, dia bukan jawapan. Okay, because the answers are wrong because of those words. So you have to pay attention to all these things. Okay, and then I also would like to share something which I feel that it will be helpful. Okay, during exam, students, especially those who are very poor in English, they don't, I mean, all of us don't bring dictionary or anything, any help. Okay, we don't have any help
Yes.
during exam. You and the paper, that's it. So if you
Tanya
do not,
pengawal.
but you can't even ask them, right? So this one I feel that it is helpful for many students. Okay, what you have to do when you don't understand a meaning of some of the words in the text, I think this question has been asked as the first question to Mr. Imran. Okay, but I
Okay.
just would like to share something which I know. Okay, bila you tak tahu maksud perkataan yang ada dekat situ, jangan gelabah. Don't be scared. Okay, jangan panic. Okay, I have like I would call it ideas. Okay,
Okay.
IDEAS. Okay, I is for
Ideas. Mm-hmm.
inference. D is for definition. E is for
Definition.
example. Okay, A is for antonym
Mm-hmm.
and S is for synonym. So ini adalah 5 clue yang you boleh gunakan untuk mencari maksud perkataan yang you tak faham dalam petikan tersebut atau perenggan tersebut. So you look for definitions. Ada tak maksud perkataan tu diterangkan dengan menggunakan definisi ataupun
Mm-hmm.
antonym ataupun synonym ataupun you boleh buat kesimpulan daripada ayat sebelum atau ayat selepas seperti Mr. Imran had shared, right? Or there are examples. Contoh kan, they say the student is arrogant and you do not understand what is the meaning of arrogant. So you can find the sentence before or after for some of the examples which explain the word arrogant about the student. So this is how you can really find the meaning without any help. And yes, Najmuddin has shared my student. Okay, yes, because I practice this in my class. So ideas will be very helpful. So I hope students can learn from this.
Okay, thank you, Sahara. Okay, the acronym IDEAS. Okay, IDEAS. I learned something new too.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Sahara. Okay, so after discussing on multiple choice questions, okay, we move to part number 2. Okay, let's go into part number 2 reading. We have that text, okay, similar or identical to the previous format. We have a rational clause, okay, rational clause. And for that part, normally it refers to a grammar, choice of words, right? Okay, so this is one of the biggest concern, okay, for some of our students, okay. And Mr. Zanurin, you are the well experienced one. Can you share tips for part number 2?
Thank you, Shafiq.
Yeah.
All right, okay, let me share some tips with all of you. So now, to all the candidates, okay, we are focusing on part two. Okay, part two, which actually tests your knowledge on your of your grammar, your vocab also. Okay, so regarding the tips, how to score, how to get marks here in part two. Okay, first of all, I think you need to read the text, okay, quickly, at least to get the general idea. In fact, the title is given, okay, based on the sample paper given by Lembaga Peperiksaan, tajuk teks for part 2 dah dibagi. So that should give you a clear idea what the text is all about. Okay, let's say the topic is about unusual cinemas around the world. So it's about unusual cinemas around the world. Okay, the next tip, okay, of course, bila saya kata dia test grammar, okay, please be prepared, okay, with some grammar knowledge, okay, common grammar knowledge, grammar yang biasa diuji, okay, contoh yang pertama, okay, all of you know, okay, after to, selepas to, okay, if followed by a verb, verb dia macam mana? It has to be a root verb. Okay, and root verb kena faham lah. Okay, no ing, no ed, okay, no s. Okay, is a basic verb. So kena tahu there could be a question. Okay, using to and then blank. Okay, that's the first example. The second example, okay, another basic grammar rule yang kamu kena tahu, okay, perfect tense. Contoh, selepas has ataupun have, okay, what kind of verb must be followed? What kind of verb must you use? Okay, of course, you have to use past participle verb. Okay, masa kita suntuk hari ni, saya nak terang past participle verb, it takes time. So, if you still are not sure what is a past participle verb or what's the rule, okay, to use for perfect tense, please ask your teachers. Okay, and then of course we also have singular and plural. Okay, so there are many other basic grammar rules, okay, which you must know, which must be at your fingertips. Okay, and maybe the third tip from me, okay, for part 2, okay, boys and girls, all the candidates, okay, kena kena tahu words yang akan jadi indicators atau petunjuk perubahan kepada tenses. Okay, I hope you can jot down, catat. Okay, jangan dengar saja, catat. Okay, words like what? Recently. Okay, recently. Bermaksud apa? Baru-baru ini. Bila recently, and the tense after that will be past tense. Okay, or last decade. Last decade, of course, another indicator for past tense. Okay, past tense, indicators for past tense yang kamu biasalah yesterday, last night, you know. Okay, but you must also know words like recently, last decade. Kalau panel lain nak bagi contoh pun okay. Okay, and yang menunjukkan present tense. Okay, mungkin perenggan ketiga bermula dengan perkataan ni. Seperti apa? Currently. Currently menunjukkan masa sekarang ataupun at present. Itu dah tenses tu akan berubah. Mungkin perenggan pertama, kedua past tense. Perenggan ketiga bila dia guna currently atau at present, itu dah berubah. Dia akan guna present tense. So you have to know, you must know so that you can choose the correct answer. Okay, Syafiq?
Okay, yeah, thank you very much, sir, for the explanation. Okay, great explanation, great tips. Okay, Teacher Aiman is waiting. Teacher Aiman, ready for your questions? Okay, just now we discussed about part 2. Okay, what about part 3? Do you have any tips for part number 3 reading?
Okay, part number 3 would be the comprehension, isn't it? Okay, you will read a
Yes, yes.
lengthy text, then you will have to answer comprehension questions. Now, one of the common mistake made by students is they read the text first. Okay, they read the text first and then they encounter, perkataan ni tak faham, perkataan ni tak faham, perkataan ni tak faham, and then they get frustrated. And when they get frustrated, then that's it. Okay, dia punya mindset tu dah kacau. Because you dah rasa down. Perkataan ni tak faham, perkataan ni tak faham. But actually, bila you buat macam tu, you akan feel very demotivated. What you should have done is, patutnya apa yang patut buat adalah you read the questions first. Read questions first and then barulah you read the text, okay? And then bila nak read the text pula, bukannya you read the whole text. You should read the text paragraph by paragraph. For example, you read dulu question number 19, the first question for comprehension kan. Baca dulu soalan tu, and then you read the paragraph 1. You don't have to read paragraph 2 because dia tak minta pun. You to read paragraph number 2. Okay, so by doing that, you telah break down satu task yang sukar. Nak baca the whole text, nak faham the whole text tu terlalu sukar pada you. Jadi, jangan buat benda yang susah. Kita buat benda yang senang. Break it down kepada smaller task yang you can accomplish. Okay, after you read paragraph number 1, you baca pula the second question, question 20. And then you read paragraph number 2. Okay, you see, bila you buat macam tu, barulah you akan nampak sebenarnya bukannya you tak faham. Okay, bukannya you tak faham. And the moment you read the question first, you akan terus klik bila the moment you jumpa jawapan. Okay, so not all questions are difficult. You jangan risau. Ada juga soalan-soalan yang senang. Kalau tidak, kita tak boleh, soalan tu tak balance. Soalan tu sepatutnya cater kepada semua peringkat. Susah, senang, sederhana. Jadi, jangan rasa you tak boleh capai, you tak boleh accomplish comprehension. Because my students, these are common mistake made by my students lah. Kan? Kadang-kadang they get too overwhelmed, lupa tips teacher bagi. Okay, so dia baca dulu the whole text and then teacher susah lah. Frust teacher, saya banyak sangat perkataan saya tak tahu, jadi saya down. So don't do that. Okay, the moment you break it kepada paragraph by paragraph, you akan rasa benda tu lebih senang. Bila senang, you akan lebih motivated. Bila motivated, lebih you bawa that right mindset untuk carry on jawab other parts of the questions, other parts of the papers. So please try this, break it down to smaller tasks that you can accomplish. Don't read the whole text and then try to answer the whole question. No, bad move. Over to you, Shafiq.
Yeah, thank you, Aiman. Okay. Uh, no, most of the students, what they like to do is to go through the whole text first, and then they encounter lots of difficult words. Okay, and then they stop there. Okay, so basically what Madam Aiman said, just go to the questions. Okay, to be more focused, and then you go by paragraph. Okay, thank you again, Madam Aiman. Okay,
Shafiq,
that yeah, yeah,
I would
please.
like to add one more tip regarding reading a long
What?
passage, okay, especially
Okay,
for average or intermediate students, okay.
okay,
Saya
sure.
harap tip ni membantu. Okay, tip untuk tahu setiap perenggan tu what is the main idea. Okay, you have to know each paragraph has at least one main idea. Okay, normally one main idea. So
Mm-hmm.
simple je. Look at the repeated words. Okay,
Mm,
contoh perenggan pertama. Okay, you could see words like challenge, difficult. Okay, these words are repeated. So that tells you, okay, perenggan pertama tadi, oh, it's talking about the difficulties, the challenges. Okay, let's say perenggan kedua, the repeated word is try. Okay, try to do this, try to do that. Okay, so the second paragraph maybe has that idea. The narrator or the character in the passage in the text try to do something. Okay, so look at the words which are repeated because they can indicate, they can tell you the idea of that paragraph. Okay,
okay, thank you, sir. But don't mute your mic yet. Okay, because I have a question for you.
okay,
Okay,
okay.
uh, okay, that one is part number 4. Okay, part number 5, students' nemesis, because there is no answer choices. There's no ABC for part number 5. Okay, so what about that one? Part number 5?
Okay, so for part number five, of course, I hope all of you know what is part number five. You are given like I think six different short paragraphs you have to read, and then in answering the question, there are two formats. First of all,
Yeah,
you need to write down the paragraph. Okay,
paragraph.
maybe you write down D, E. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and the second part, you have to fill in the blanks, okay, with one word. Okay, so I would suggest that you should read questions 33 until 36 first. Okay, and when you read, underline the keywords. Okay, I give you one example. I enjoy cooking using lemongrass. Okay, lemongrass, so right. So I enjoy cooking using lemongrass. So you should underline lemongrass. Okay. Kenapa? Nanti bila baca petikan yang short paragraph tu, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you will come across, you will find, akan jumpa perenggan tertentu, mungkin perenggan C yang akan sebut tentang lemongrass. Okay, so
Yes.
this tip, okay, will make your reading later will to be very focused, and of course it can help you to get the answer. Okay, I give the second example. Let's say contoh lah soalan 34 dia bagi ayat macam ni. I prepare food for the homeless. I
Okay.
prepare food for the
For the
homeless. Okay,
homeless.
so keyword would be food, homeless. Okay, orang tak ada rumah,
Yeah.
gelandangan. Okay, so when you read the text later, okay, when you see the short paragraph talking about homeless, about preparing food, that of course will lead you to the answer of the answer for number 34. So my suggestions, baca dulu questions 33 to 36, because when you read the text later, you'll be more focused, number one, and of course, it will help you to answer your questions accurately. Okay, okay. Anybody would like to add
Yeah,
for
yeah.
part
Any
five?
panelists? Okay, you may add if you want to.
I think
Imran, you have
nothing.
something to say, Imran? No?
All right, I don't think so because I think Mr. Nurin has already covered most of the tips that I would give to my students too. So very good,
Okay,
excellent, Mr. Nurin.
yeah, no problem, Imran. I know before I also forget. No, I could
Mm-hmm.
see a question from Aisha Shazrin. She asked, will report be included in the SPM
Ah,
paper? Okay, Aisha, we will go to that part, okay, because
okay.
as Mr. Shafiq mentioned, our discussion, our session today, we
Mm-hmm.
will go paper by paper. So
Yeah,
now we are coming
exactly.
to the end of paper, the reading paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we will go to the writing paper soon, and I think, yeah, for sure we will answer your question about report.
Okay. Okay. Okay, that is a question from Aisha. Okay, and actually we already at the end of our reading session. Okay, reading session, we are moving into the next part. Okay, which is writing. Okay, Aisha ni main ngam timing ni. Okay, for writing. Okay, for writing. Okay, Sahara, can you entertain question from Aisha? Will report be included in the SPM paper?
Okay, yes. Okay. There is possibility for the report to be included. Okay. Because as you all know, in part three, we have three questions. Okay. So it can be article, review, story, or report. So nasib lah kalau dia keluar, dia memang ada tiga soalan, tapi kita ada
Yeah.
empat jenis, iaitu
Mm-hmm.
report, story, review and article. If either one tak ada, satu lagi tu report might come out. So you must be prepared for everything.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Maybe this question came out because the samples given by sample given to the teachers previously they don't include a report, right? Okay, but in our textbook we noticed that this is a report in our textbook.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay,
this is a
so
question that frequently asked and had been mentioned several times that is going to be in part 3 report. Okay, Sarah, can I add up a bit?
yeah, can
You
sure.
mentioned about report. Okay, I'm not going to add up the tips. I'm going to add up the question for you.
Okay.
Okay, Sahara, how to write a report? The format of a report.
Okay, if students realize actually report writing exists since Form 3. Okay,
Yeah.
it's in close up, it's in download, and also in full blast. Okay, and the format is also there. If you see, you have to have, especially in full blast and buku download, dia ada satu bahagian tips. Okay, dia ada to, from dengan subject on top. Okay, that is the format in the textbook. Okay, and it is also stated that you must have headings. Headings. Okay, kalau report you write in 5 paragraphs. Let's say you tulis dalam 5 perenggan. Perenggan pertama dia introduction, perenggan kelima dia conclusion. Tapi 2, 3, 4 ni adalah headings mengikut soalan based on the question. Let's say the question is about facilities. They're asking about what are the facilities you want to improve in your school and give suggestions. So if you are a smart student, you would say the second heading though you would say classroom. And then inside classroom, you will write what you have to improve, okay, what is lacking and everything, and you will give suggestion. And the third heading, you will write maybe library, and then toilet. Then the last one would be conclusion. If you're writing 4 paragraphs, it's fine. First is introduction, second and third is maybe 2 other facilities, and fourth would be your conclusion. So this is how the format explained in your textbook, okay? But you also have to always remember that you have to follow these, because then only your communicative achievement marks will be increased. I mean, like, you achieve that part. As you all know, communicative achievement is how well you can catch the reader's attention. Itulah communicative achievement. Okay, so you cater the need of the question, then of course you are menarik perhatian pembaca, iaitu pemeriksa. So you get better marks, right? So always adhere to the format, take note of the format and write appropriately. Tak susah pun, right? Report writing is not difficult because all the questions are there. You just follow what they ask, you write for 200 or 250 words, and that's it. That's all, Shafiq.
Okay, very good, Sahara. Okay, because students has been asking the format of a report. Okay, actually that's the one that you mentioned. We have like a title on top, right? Okay,
Yes.
subheading, tajuk kecil ya, in for
Yeah.
each paragraph, and then reported by. Okay, that is the basic format for a report. Um, Madam Aiman,
Yes.
can you please I have these questions. Okay, I have this question from the students. They ask, is it important to elaborate the ideas presented in the essay?
Definitely, absolutely.
Mhm.
You see, if you elaborate the points in the essay, you will definitely help to ensure that your reader are fully informed. Barulah you boleh dapat full mark for content 5/5. Now, when you want to elaborate ideas, how can you achieve this? There are many strategies on how you can elaborate ideas.
Sorry,
I
sorry, Teacher
think
Aiman.
someone, pardon?
No, for the benefit of the weaker students,
Ah,
elaborate means urai, terangkan
huraikan.
idea.
Yeah.
Huraikan.
Ya, ya.
Okay.
Sebelum you share tips.
Huraikan. Macam mana you nak huraikan? Kan in essay tu dia ada point form kan? Ada bullet form tu. So those are your points. Itu adalah you punya isi. Jadi setiap satu isi tu you have to huraikan. You kena elaborate. Okay. Macam mana nak elaborate? Ini kalau kata untuk weak students, intermediate ni I selalu share lah with my students. What you can do adalah you can use conditional sentence. You guna if sentence. If I do this, then I will get this. Or if I don't do this, then I will not get this. So that already elaborate your ideas. Okay. Lagi yang you boleh buat adalah by giving reason. You bagi sebab. Okay, you bagi sebab kenapa you kata demikian. Yang pertama, you punya point tu kenapa you kata kita kena buat point ni. Or kenapa you kata you nak buat point ni. Okay, you give reasons why, you justify. Okay. Or nak bagi panjang lagi ayat you, okay, you can also give example. Nak bagi contoh ni, nak bagi contoh macam mana? Ada dua cara. There are two ways on how you can give example. Number one is by listing. You listkan. Contohnya jogging, cycling, apa lagi? Swimming. Contohlah kalau kata you nak cakap tentang physical activities. Examples of physical activities. Or you can make up a story. For example, there's one time when I visited Italy, when I visited the food court, or for example, when I tried this happened. You make up story. Okay, so by using these three strategies, using if sentence, kalau I buat, jika saya buat ini, maka saya dapat ini. If I do this, then I will be able to. So these are some strategies. Or you can use listing as your example, or you make up story in your example. And don't worry so much tentang nak elaborate, nak huraikan, because the number of words for essay is only 120 saja, 120 saja. So you jangan risau nak kena tulis panjang-panjang. Asalkan untuk setiap satu point, you boleh kembangkan dalam 3 ayat, cukup. 2 ayat pun dah okey. Okay, kalau satu ayat tu tak panggil lah kembang kan. Sebab tu I kata bagi reason satu, and then you bagi example satu. Cukup. 2 cukup. Okay. So I guess that's it. Shafiq?
Mr. Shafiq, can I add on?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
please.
Okay, okay. What I taught my student is for them to at least kalau tak ada idea lah, tak tahu nak kembang macam
Mm-hmm.
mana, tak tahu betul ke tak, is for them to at least tambah satu ayat beginning with I hope ataupun it is hope. Saya harap contoh if they are talking about advantages of something, okay, saya
Mm-hmm.
harap saya boleh buat benda ni. I hope everyone can follow this tip. It is hope ianya diharapkan agar this tip is useful, berguna untuk saya ke semua orang ke. So I taught them to use I hope or it is hope. Kalau dia tak boleh huraikan. If you cannot elaborate more lah. So that's what I taught my student lah. So hope it can help.
Okay.
Okay, I would like to add one more tip. Nak hurai.
Okay.
A simple
Mm-hmm.
one.
Mm-hmm.
WH questions.
Yes,
Okay,
WH.
lebih
Yeah.
mudah. Okay, and some WH questions are easy for the students to answer.
Mm-hmm.
When, where, who. Okay, yang susah sikit, why, how, dia susah sikit. Pilih yang senang-senang. As long as you try to elaborate, because when you elaborate, hurai, your ideas get better. Okay, the
Mm-hmm.
reader can understand your ideas better dan itu akan menambah baiklah markah anda.
Yes.
Okay, and I can see a question from Lash Devon asking Puan Sahara.
Mm-hmm.
Sahara, did you notice? There are
Yeah, yeah. Asking
two
about the
types
format,
of
right?
reports. Okay, one is without addressing to someone and just with the heading. Okay, if is it okay if I respond?
Yeah, yeah. Sure, sure.
Okay. First of all, okay, I'm not sure Lash Devon is a teacher or a student. Okay, never
She's a
mind. Okay,
teacher.
teacher. Okay,
Teacher.
so far actually, Lembaga Peperiksaan has never issued the format of a
Mm-hmm.
report. Even in the sample paper, the question about report is not included. However, we have been informed there is a possibility the question for the report could be tested. Okay, like what Madam Sahara mentioned just now, when we have to write down to and then from, that is taken from the textbook.
Yeah.
So I believe that information is very reliable. And personally, I have also seen a sample report without to, without from. They just start with a
Yes.
title. Okay, but of course at the bottom, reported by is the same. So my personal view, okay, I'm not someone who is attached to Lembaga. My personal view, maybe Sarah can add later.
Mm-hmm.
Both ways, I would say are accepted as long as it is a report, number one. And as long as the candidates fulfill all the tasks clearly. Okay, that will be my response.
Okay, I just checked my slide as well because I also did present about report. So, by referring to the textbook, yes. Okay, from full blast we have one format, and from English download we have another format. Okay,
Yeah.
so just if you are unsure, you can refer to your full blast, page 122. Okay, the one with to, from, and subject. Okay, and in English download, you can refer to page 92. Okay, page 92, the one with the heading and subheadings. Yang ni dia tak ada punya addressing kat atas tu. Okay, just in case. Okay, but obviously we should follow the textbook. This is the first time, right? So our holiday would be the textbooks. Okay. Okay, let's go to next questions. Okay, we are still in writing. So if you have any questions on writing, please type it out in the live chat. Okay, we try to entertain your questions. Madam Aiman, you have been talking about how to elaborate the point, macam mana nak kembangkan isi tu apa semua, kan? Okay, but for some students, maybe they're having problems because the time given. Okay, because of the time limit given. Okay, it is 1 hour and 30 minutes for 3 essay. So how would you advise them to divide their time while answering these 3 parts?
Okay, thank you, Shafiq, for the question. Now, we have around 90 minutes for us to answer 3 questions. Okay, so this is what you should do. First of all, you must answer email question first. Answer email and then you answer essay. Lepas tu last kali, then only you try and answer part 3. Okay, because you see, Shafiq, during this trial recently, some of my students answered part 3 first. Okay, and because they don't have enough time, mereka tak jawab part 2. Now, why do you need to answer email first? You kena jawab email dulu sebab email yang paling mudah untuk you dapat banyak markah. Okay, sebab apa? Email to pitch at A2 level. Jadi, you kena jawab email dulu. Rugilah kalau you jawab part 3. Okay, takut you lupa. You jawab part 3. Sedangkan dari segi pemarkahan, part 3 lebih strict. Part 3 lebih strict. Dari segi pemarkahan, part 1, email lebih senang untuk you score. So, answer email first. And because it is easy, spend only about 20 minutes for you to answer email. Shouldn't be that hard. Okay, and then for essay, you spend around 30 minutes. You jawab essay, spend 30 minutes. Jangan jawab part 3 dulu. Jawab essay dulu, 30 minutes. And then that extra 10 minutes yang you dah potong tu daripada email, you spend it when you want to answer part 3. Okay, I think that should give you ample time untuk address part 3. Okay, don't spend too much time for email because you know, Shafiq, some of my students, dia terlalu seronok jawab email because they say,
Ya,
nak
ya.
ni, nak make sure they can score full mark for
Dia
email.
goreng kan.
Dia goreng tu sampai almost
Angin.
200 words. Janganlah macam tu. Okay? Tak betul tu. Okay, because dia kata nak kena dapat full mark ni for email. Jadi dia pun spend sampai 40 minutes and then exceed the word limit sampai almost 100 over. So janganlah. Okay? So spend 20 minutes, 80 words only for email and then 30 minutes for essay and 40 minutes for part 3. Okay? So we have a question
Okay.
here from Adriana. How can I improve my mark for organization?
Organization. Okay, how can I improve my mark organization? I think that is the question for you, Imran. Can you?
Okay,
Since
well, no
you are
problem. All right, thank you, Adriana. All right, okay, for organization, if you still remember, we have content, 5 marks, communicative achievement, 5 marks, organization, 5 marks, language, 5 marks. So for organization, bahasa mudah for you guys to understand, susunan, kesinambungan, okay, macam mana mula ayat, macam mana sambung isi, that is organization. Macam mana kamu susun isi kamu. How you organize your points, your sentences, your ideas, right? So to get better marks, maybe maximum marks for organization, make sure you have enough linking words, make sure you have enough connectors, make sure you have enough cohesive devices. Apa benda semua tu? Kata hubung, penanda wacana. Make sure you have that. Okay, kena ada benda-benda tu for your, especially for your part 3. Untuk bahagian ketiga, you must have, wajib lah kena ada cohesive devices to get full marks. For part 1, so far it is not compulsory lah, tak betul-betul wajib kena ada cohesive devices. No, but at least if you have one, it is safer, lebih selamat lah for you to get maximum marks. Alright, and then write in a few paragraph, more than one paragraph. Of course, please karangan, essay. Cuba buat lebih daripada satu perenggan, at least lah buat lebih. So, satu perenggan intro, one paragraph for points, kalau betul-betul tak ada idea sangat, and then one paragraph for conclusion or endings. If you can, advisable 3 to 5 paragraphs. Okay, you can look in your English download B1 Plus, alright, for cohesive devices, for connectors. For example, on page 15, 41, page 51, how to start your article pun ada, I think on page 53. Okay, so what I did with my student is, I make it a compulsory, wajib, for them to have furthermore, moreover. Sebab so far, furthermore, moreover is considered as cohesive devices. So dia adalah, bolehlah dapat markah untuk organization by having cohesive devices. Alright, cohesive devices also doesn't mean only penanda wacana. No, it can be a pronoun. For example, my father and I walk to the store. We, guna pronoun pun adalah cohesive devices actually. So it is simple, like what Madam Aiman said. Do not stress yourself out. Do not overcomplicate things. It is actually simple. It is actually what you have been doing while you are learning English since you are in standard one. All right. So use what you have. All right. So for organization, remember how you organize your ideas, how you organize your essays. All right. Cohesive devices, very important. Paragraph, very important. Okay. Anyone wants to add on to my tips?
Can I add a little bit,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shafiq?
yeah.
Wherever we're having this discussion, I
Hmm.
actually teringat my student. So I assume lah. I
Depa ingat
assume
you tak?
if tak tahulah Syafiq. Oh,
Ah,
kan
ah,
cuti ni kan. Out of sight, out of mind lah kot. Okay. One of the common mistake made by my students is they are so excited and to use cohesive devices. Mereka ni macam tabok cohesive devices here and there. Okay, tabok sana. Teacher kata you must use at least 4 cohesive devices. Tabok sini sikit, tabok sana sikit. 4 cukup. No, that is not how it works, ladies and
yes,
gentlemen.
yes.
Anak-anak bukan macam tu lah. Okay, it is very important for you to understand the function of
Hmm.
the cohesive devices. You kena
Yeah.
tahu apa fungsi cohesive devices tu. You nak letak kat mana? Fungsi dia sebagai apa? Okay. So by now, if let's say you nak tambah idea. Okay, idea pertama, idea kedua, idea ketiga. You fikir siap-siap daripada hari ni. Kalau aku nak kata
Yes.
idea pertama, aku nak pakai first and foremost. First of all. Idea kedua kalau aku nak cakap, I'm going to say furthermore.
Hmm.
Kalau idea ketiga aku nak cakap in addition. You plan siap-siap. Okay. Kalau kata I nak introduce idea yang berlain. Idea yang kontra. I nak pakai apa? However. Barulah you plan siap-siap what cohesive devices you want to use.
Yes.
Jangan nanti you want to introduce another idea, you want to add more ideas, you pakai however. Okay? Tak kena. I appreciate, I love my students. I love their effort for putting and wanting to use creative devices. Tapi kadang-kadang tak kena. Bila tak kena tu, kuranglah markah. Okay. So, think from now, for example, when you want to answer review, contoh lah. Okay, you know that in every review, you need to, masuk review pula, sorry nah. In every review, you need to talk about what you like. You need to talk about what you don't like. You likes and dislike about that product lah, benda yang you nak review tu. So let's say you kata, okay lah, kalau aku nak cakap tentang benda yang aku suka about this product, I want to say at least 3 things that I like about this product. You fikir siap-siap. You nak kata apa? Firstly ke? First and foremost ke? In addition ke? You pilih 3. Okay, ini kalau aku nak cakap tentang what I like. Now, when I want to introduce what I don't like. However, okay,
Nevertheless.
betul. Jadi you fikir daripada lah. Bukannya dalam exam baru you nak fikir. Okay, bila kita dah tahu dah we are going to use cohesive devices, jangan kita, apa maksud lah cohesive devices ni? And then you baru nak experiment in the exam. Masa exam baru you nak experiment with this and that. Okay, so figure out from now what are the cohesive devices that you think you want to apply and use in your exam, and hopefully you will be able to apply it effectively. Thank you, Shafiq.
Okay, your students reminds me of my students. Okay, of course we give that list, cohesive devices, link keywords. Okay, what they do, they memorize everything and then they spread it over. Tabok. Oh, ni ada sir, kat sini ada sir. It's not that way. Okay, use it appropriately. Okay, use it at the correct part of sentences. Macam tu lah kan. Takkan finally tiba-tiba nak duduk depan-depan. Okay, right. Okay, because Imran has been explaining about organization. Okay, sebelum budak-budak ni tanya lagi, okay, probably they're going to ask, okay, Mr. Zanurin, how can we score in CA, communicative achievement? Okay, just in case you are not sure what is CA, CA is communicative achievement, one of the criteria, okay, in marking an essay. Mr. Z?
Okay, thank you, Shafiq. Before I answer Shafiq's question, Okay, peringatan untuk semua anak-anak lah. Okay, candidates of SPM Paper 19. Okay, apa yang kami sedang buat adalah sebenarnya share tips how you can get good marks for your writing. Okay, semua penerangan tadi by Teacher Sarah, Mr. Imran, Teacher Aiman, okay, semua ada kaitan dengan 4 kriteria. Okay, how you get marks. We have content, we have CA, communicative achievement yang saya akan terang. Okay, we have organization dah terang. Okay, and we have language. Okay, so how to score? Pay close attention to these 4. Okay, so now the question is about CAs. Yeah, you are not the examiner, you don't mark paper, but as the candidate, calon, you have to know CA itu apa dia. How to make sure you can get a good mark for CA. Okay, communicative achievement. Okay, di bawah CA ada a few elements. First of all, format. So when we talk about format, make sure when you write the email, format tu betul. When you write the report tadi, formatnya betul. Don't worry so much about the format of report. Okay, article ada format. Okay, so if you are not sure about the format of an article, please ask your teachers. Okay. So, number 1, format. Okay, yang tak tahu, yang masih blur tu catatlah. Don't just listen. Number 2, under CA will be register. Okay, register. Okay. Okay, for register is whether your essay is written in a formal way or informal. Okay, the guided essay, informal yang senang nak faham, informal email. Email adalah informal. Boleh guna contraction, contoh don't, D-O-N apostrophe T. Boleh ada hi, ada hello, ada bye. Okay, dari segi register, formal ke tak formal. Okay, next, tone. Okay, essay pun ada tone, ada nada. Okay, T-O-N-E yang ketiga. Okay, don't worry too much. Yang penting fulfill all the tasks, answer all the tasks. Okay, bila kamu jawab semua soalan terang dengan elok, okay, the tone will be there. Okay, saya bagi contoh, like writing a review. When you write a review, okay, salah satu kehendak soalan dia tanya, would you recommend the movie ke, the cafe ke to your friends? So, kalau kamu berjaya recommend, okay, dengan baik, the tone will be there. So, tone apa? A convincing tone. Okay, tone yang meyakinkan. Let's say, email. You have to persuade your friend, pujuk kawan nak pergi holiday. Okay, let's say. So, you are able to persuade well. Okay, you can write and explain well. So, tone tu dia akan datang naturally. Tone apa? Persuasive tone. Okay, and if you write a story, your story shares moral lessons. Okay, people can learn from your story. Okay, in part 3. So the tone will also be there. Tone apa? Okay, inspirational tone, educational tone. Okay, mungkinlah ada yang macam apa, susah nak faham tone tu. Saya kata jangan bimbang, don't worry. You just make sure you fulfill all the tasks well. Inshallah, the tone will come in naturally. Okay, and last one, when we talk about communicative achievement, dia ada kaitan dengan paragraphing. Okay, in order to communicate your ideas clearly, you should have a proper introduction and a proper conclusion. Tengah-tengah tu adalah body paragraphs. Okay, these will help your reader to understand your ideas clearly. Okay, this will help you to communicate your ideas better when you have intro, body paragraphs, and then conclusion, penutup. Okay.
We have a question from Farah right here. Okay, for review, is it compulsory for me to state the negative things or things that I don't like? Is it okay if I just state all the positive things? Okay, anyone would like to respond on these questions?
Can I?
Oh, angkat tangan siap. Okay, sure. Then,
Saya. Okay,
Yeah,
siapa? Takkan Farah. Is
yeah,
this
Farah.
question from Farah? Okay, Farah. Let's say you have no negative things to say about whatever it is that you are reviewing. You boleh kata the only negative comment that you have is you don't have enough of it. Tak cukup. Contohnya, you makan apa nama? Chicken chop, for example. The only negative comment that you have is you nak lagi, or the black pepper sauce so delicious you don't like, the portion is too little. Macam tu. Okay, so bukanlah negatif sangat. Still nak tunjuk kata how good it is, you tak cukup-cukup dengan you. That is also one thing you can go about if let's say you have no negative things to say. Okay, I think Mr. Z dah nak tambah dah. Go Mr. Z. Over to you.
Okay, Farah, and to all the candidates, apa-apa pun kita kena tengok soalan. Kalau kehendak soalan, dia memang dengan jelas sebut what you dislike. What you like and dislike, dia sebut dua-dua. You have no choice. Kenalah cerita what you dislike. Okay, kalau tidak nanti dia akan affect, memberi kesan kepada konten. Okay, dan juga CA. Sebab anda tak jawab bahagian dislike. Okay, and like Teacher Aiman said, bab dislike ni berhati-hati. Jangan kutuk teruk-teruk. Don't give, if because later you have to recommend, unless you are prepared with all the terrible ideas about the place, then you when for the third part, for the third requirement, do you recommend? Then you may not recommend. But actually, to me, it's easier for you to recommend. Okay, so for that you need to be careful. Bagilah sebab-sebab yang tak serius, tak critical. If you dislike, for example, maybe parking is limited, tapi the food is 5 star. So limited parking tu isu kecil je. Okay, alright.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Z, for your reminder. I think we have we already moved into 10 right now. Okay, so a few more questions just before we go into the next part. Okay, Sahara, you've been teaching in Bali. Okay, so probably you have encountered students who so down to earth. They are saying the English is not good. Okay, so what should they focus in part number 3 for
Okay.
writing?
For this question, I would say that they can focus or prepare more for review. I am telling just prepare more. I'm not saying that you only focus on review. Okay, these are two different things, yeah. Because some students might say, teacher, how if review tak keluar? Review tak keluar, macam mana? Sebab I prepare untuk review sahaja. So I'm again listen, prepare more. Okay, not preparing only. Okay, so so you can prepare more kalau you punya bahasa ni lemah. Okay, you don't know how to really write 200 words, 250 words. It's very difficult for you. Kalau dalam keadaan macam tu, you can prepare for review sebenarnya. Sebab review ni tak susah. And if you really want to have sample essays, minta cikgu-cikgu kamu pergi ambil esei contoh daripada Mr. Zanurin's punya blog. Dia ada banyak contoh and I love also that essays. Especially food court review, restaurant review dan sebagainya. Okay, very simple language. Even budak-budak darjah 5 pun boleh buat based on the essays yang Sir Zanurin share. So that kind of reviews. Okay, another tips I would say here. You hanya guna basic idea saja. Vocab yang kamu tahu. Just remember, you dah belajar 11 tahun. Vocab yang ada tu memang you boleh guna. Okay. Sebab your English is not good. Bukan nak kata not good lah. Tapi you lemah dalam bahasa Inggeris, right? So, bolehlah you gunakan perkataan yang you tahu sahaja. Fikir dalam bahasa Inggeris, bahasa yang kamu tahu. Jangan fikir dalam bahasa Melayu. Bila you translate daripada bahasa Melayu ke bahasa Inggeris, itu yang you jadi masalah, you tahu tak? Sebab you fikir bahasa Melayu ni canggih. Bila canggih nak translate kepada bahasa Inggeris, it's very difficult. That's why you have to think in English. When you think in English, you will think with a very simple kind of vocab, simple kind of language. So use that to write reviews or any essays. Okay, in part 3. So, fikir dalam bahasa Inggeris. Itu yang sangat penting. So, sentence structure pun sama. What you know in English. Let's say you want to terang, you want to explain about food. What you know. Okay, the food tastes good. Cukup, tak apa, it's okay. Sometimes you have grammar mistakes. It's okay, it's okay. It's just that we want the sentences. Okay, the food was delicious. Kalau you tak tahu delicious, apa you nak ganti? Tapi fikir dalam bahasa Inggeris, bukan bahasa Melayu. Because you are good in Malay. Okay, that is my personal request lah kepada semua pelajar yang lemah bahasa Inggeris. Jangan fikir bahasa Melayu, translate dari bahasa Melayu ke English. Sebab memang akan jadi susah. Okay, and one more thing. Bila you dah tulis review ni, you kena ingat, okay, let's say you dah prepare untuk movie review. Teacher, I prepare movie review tapi I tak tahu nak tulis book review. Alah, fikir lagi satu. Movie dengan book ada cerita, betul tak? So, you tukar je movie tu, director you tukar kepada the author. You ubah suai. Okay, gunakan minda you. Okay, contoh. Okay, let's say teacher, I prepare untuk restaurant review tapi I tak tahu macam mana nak buat canteen review teacher sebab Sir Zanurin punya blog ada canteen review. I pun was shocked. Okay, very good. So, canteen dengan restaurant benda yang sama tapi you pergi dengan siapa tu berbeza. Tempat dia terletak berbeza. Olahkan apa yang ada daripada minda kamu. Jangan fikirlah susah. That's the only thing I would like to share. Shafiq, yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Sahara. Okay, just before we end our writing session, last question from you, Mr. Z. What else can students do? They have like a few more weeks before the exam. So what can they do?
Okay, first of all, like Teacher Sahara said, Mr. Zanrin's blog, okay. So I think let me mention, okay, terutama murid yang lemah bahasa Inggeris, yang walaupun pernah gagal, okay, because I have written many sample essays. Okay, you just go to my blog, you just type my name, Zanurin. Okay, banyak benda akan appear di Google tu, but the first one will be my blog. Okay, so please, ia membantu. Okay, daripada komen ramai guru memang membantu. So please, at least walaupun masa dah tak banyak, at least read, baca soalan, baca model essays. Okay, that's number one. Number two, especially for the average pelajar sederhana, okay, sebab pelajar yang cemerlang di I, I'm sure they are ready. Okay, bagi yang sederhana ataupun below average, okay, I would suggest that you read the for writing, because we're talking about writing right now. Read the essay questions from the trial papers, okay. At least kalau masa tak banyak, tak sempat, sekurang-kurangnya kamu tahu, okay, soalan ni nak apa, soalan ni suruh buat apa. Okay, that would help you. Okay, sebab lebih banyak soalan yang kamu baca, okay, kamu akan lebih confident. Okay, you will have less worries to face the real SPM. Okay, it helps. It really helps. Kamu takkan gelabah. Sebab apa? Kamu dah didedahkan dengan banyak soalan. Okay, dah tahu dah soalan ni nak apa, soalan tu tanya apa. Okay, I think you should do that. Dah so banyak-banyak pun, kita faham masa tak banyak, suntuk. And you may also want to focus on your math lah, fizik lah, your agama subjects lah. So cukuplah saya rasa. Okay, at least you do that.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Z, for the tips. What to prepare? Okay, within just a few weeks. And I think that is the last question for writing. Okay, we are moving, students. We are moving into speaking. We still got time. Okay, no worries. Okay. Okay, Aiman. Madam Aiman. In speaking, in part 1, they have to talk about that their hometown, their hobbies, okay, food, sometimes about sports. Okay, but the question is, how long should their answers be in part 1?
Okay, now in part one, the interlocutor, cikgu daripada sekolah you, your English teacher lah, okay, will ask you general question about topics yang related to you. Tentang you punya daily routine, you buat apa hari-hari, your hobbies, your ambitions, your friends, your families, okay. Jadi bila soalan cikgu tanya soalan about this topic, in part one, you don't have to give long detailed answer. Tak payah. Okay. Jawab in about 1 to 2 sentences cukup. One sentence pun cukup. But it has to be a complete sentence lah. Avoid giving very short one or 2 word answer. For example, how do you come to school? Car. How do you come to school? Walk. Jangan macam tu. Okay, I walk to school. Bagi proper sikit jawapan tu. Okay. And jangan stress sangat in this part. Jangan rasa you kena cakap panjang lebar because this part is just warming up punya session saja. Okay, bagi you relax, you tenang before interlocutor move to part 2. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Madam Aiman, do they need to
Yeah.
speak in full minutes? I mean 1 minute, whole minute?
Okay,
For part one.
Part 1, no. Part 1, no. 1 minute tu untuk the interlocutor ask you several question. Jadi tak payah nak 1 minute full untuk part 1. Tapi part 2, but for part 2, yes, you need to speak for a full 1 minute untuk part 2. Okay, and let's say in part 2, okay, part 2 kan you dapat cue cards, right? So if let's say you exceed that 1 minute, okay, the interlocutor will stop you. Okay, the interlocutor will say thank you. Okay, if the interlocutor feel that he or she already have enough information untuk nak evaluate, nak bagi markah kat you berapa tu, dia dah tengok dah ada enough info, dia akan stop you lah. So don't panic if let's say the interlocutor does this, because when I stop my students during trial exam the other day, my student might tanya, teacher kenapa saya buat tak okay kan? No lah, I already have enough information to give you mark. So I just want to move on to part 3. Okay, so don't panic, right?
Okay, thank you. Sahara, can candidate ask questions to the interlocutor, to the teachers?
Okay, hi. Okay, so this is a very good question actually because students yang tak berapa faham, they like to ask for the meaning of the words in the question. Okay, teacher ni apa maksud? Teacher ini apa maksud? So tolonglah jangan buat benda tu. Okay, you are not supposed to ask the meaning of the words in the question to the interlocutor. Sebab dia pun tak boleh bantu because you know what, even the interlocutors have their own script, apa yang dia perlu ikut dan apa yang dia tak boleh buat. So she or he can't help you much. Okay, so let's say you have to use the clues lah yang cikgu-cikgu ajak you macam mana nak cari maksud bagai tu to understand the meaning of the question. Okay, and only thing you can ask is that you can ask them to repeat the question. Hanya untuk ulang soalan. Tapi itu pun janganlah tanya banyak kali. So how you could ask them to repeat the question? You can say that, could you say that again? Okay, could you rephrase that? Guna ayat macam tu sebab masa pun sedang berjalan, right? So you have to be fast. So you just ask them, could you say that again? So dia akan ulang soalan. Tapi you cannot ask them for meanings, okay? And then don't always ask them to repeat, okay? Sekali dah cukup lah, that's it.
Okay, Sahara. Mr. Imran, I think we have another question from the audience. Okay, Nafisah asks, okay, for part 3, who should start speaking, Mr. Imran?
Okay, that is a very good question. All right, so there are 2 ways to answer this one. So who should start speaking? Of course, you should now have already assigned who is the first speaker, who is the second speaker. So preferably, seboleh-bolehnya, you should assign the more proficient student yang lebih fasih bercakap to be the first speaker to speak first. Why? Kenapa? Because for the less proficient student yang kurang fasih, dia akan lebih confident lah bila dengar kawan kamu bercakap, and then you can understand. Kamu tak faham soalan, But then when your friends start to answer the question first, kamu boleh faham dulu. Kamu boleh faham apa yang dia kata. Oh, rupanya soalan maksud dia yang ni. And then you can proceed with your answers. Okay, and then the second type of answer for this one is, siapa yang kena cakap dulu, it is up to you. You assign first siapa yang nak cakap dulu. Kalau dalam mind map tu, siapa nak cakap dulu terpulang. It is up to you, but back to the first partner sebut tadi, try to at least preferably put the proficient speaker first, yang lebih boleh mampu untuk bercakap, yang boleh menjelaskan maksud. Okay, soalan tersebut to explain more, maybe jawapan itu enable you to understand the question better. It should be the first speaker to be the more proficient speaker kalau ada. But macam mana kalau dua-dua? Kalau dua-dua kurang fasih ke, dua-dua fasih ke, I suggest you follow the tips given by Madam Raiman, Sora-Sora tu. The first speaker tu siapa, kamu dah pernah awal lagi, kamu dah assign dah. Tak kisahlah kalau dah dua-dua tak boleh cakap sekalipun, at least kamu tak bergaduh. Tak bertumbuk sana sini sebab apa? Oh, hang cakap dulu. No. Okay, so kamu dah assign siap-siap dah. Who is the first speaker? Siapa akan cakap dulu? Ambil point mana dah assign siap-siap dah. Look back at the YouTube video done by Madam Aiman. She's very famous. She's expert in speaking this one. Don't worry. Okay, apa-apa you can ask her. Okay, SMK, ke Johari. Okay.
Can we do a rap for speaking? Can you do it, Aiman? Can you
Yes.
re-explain a bit about Sora-Sora? So we can do like a mini rap for this session.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, anak-anak, okay, please go back and visit the video for my session. I have already shared with you the strategy for soal-soal. So, one of the question asked here, siapa nak mula dulu? Okay. Another question here asked by, siapa nak tengok? Rai. Okay, if our speaking is not that fluent, will it affect our mark? Okay, what if our partner does not want to speak in part 3? You see, kalau you visit my strategy, the Sora tu, you will be able to see, even if you are not that fluent in English, even if, let's say, you tak tahu nak cakap apa, actually you can still cakap. You masih boleh cakap. Because in the strategy given there, dia dah bagi semua dah yang akan tick all the marking criteria. Dalam kriteria permakahan tu, kalau you guna Sora-Sora, you akan tick kriteria ni you buat, kriteria ni you buat, kriteria ni you buat. Jadi penting untuk you faham. Kalau I nak terang balik everything, memang makan masa lama sikit ni. Okay, I don't think we have time. But basically, kalau you tengok, you won't have any problem on who should start speaking. Dia dah ada dah siapa nak start speaking, how to say, what to say. Okay, what to say when you want to start speaking, when you want to start your discussion. Okay, if let's say you dah come up dengan satu point, one of the point dalam mind map tu you tak tahu. You tak tahu nak cakap. Okay, what you can say adalah you boleh sebut balik, say again what your partners have said. Oh yes, I absolutely agree with you. As you said, even though you tak tahu pun kawan you cakap apa, but you boleh refer to the mind map. Kawan aku tadi cakap point ini. Point ini kata people love to watch TV because they want to unwind. Oh, I agree with your opinion. As you said, people love to watch TV because they want to unwind. Walaupun sebenarnya you tak tahu unwind tu apa. But that much you can do. You boleh guna material from the mind map, utilize the question daripada mind map, formulate ayat you. That's it. You tak semestinya kena come up dengan new idea. Skip that altogether. Okay? And then you punya idea lagi satu, point you adalah people love to watch TV because they want to keep up with the latest trend. So tadi you dah say again what your partners have said. You sebut balik dia kata apa? Dia kata orang suka tengok TV because they want to unwind. Oh yes, Imran, absolutely. I love your idea when you say that people love to watch TV because they want to unwind. But for me, I think people love to watch TV because they want to keep up with the latest trend. Tapi you tak tahu pun latest trend tu apa. Apa latest trend? Nak bagi sebab apa? It's okay. You will kata, oh, I think people love to watch TV because they want to unwind. What do you think? You pass the ball to your friend lah. Biar kawan you lah fikir. Kawan you pun tak tahu. Apa dia latest trend? Aku pun tak tahu. Tapi aku kata, oh yes, you're right. You were right when you said that people love to watch TV because they want to keep up with the latest trend. You see, setakat yang I duk cakap ni, tak ada satu pun idea yang come from myself. I hanya menggunakan teknik suara-suara and I hanya gunakan mind map. Mind map tu dekat tengah tu dia kata why people love to watch TV. Jadi I duk ulang perkataan tu. Why people love to watch TV? People love to watch TV because... And then I sebut the points in the mind map. Tak ada pun satu yang I bagi reason. Reason ni maksudnya I justify kenapa I kata people love to watch TV because they want to unwind, they want to keep up with the latest trend. I tak sebut. I cuma berlakon macam I reti cakap orang putih. Memanglah I reti tapi I berlakon lah. Berlakon and I just ulang strategi suara-suara. Okay, in suara-suara, the first step S adalah you say again what your partner have said and you agree with your partner. Agree saja, jangan nak disagree. Okay, and then O, you give your opinion. Opinion ni nak ambil mana? Where do you take your opinion? You fikir sendiri ke opinion? No. Opinion will come from the points dalam mind map tu. Okay, and then you say R. You give reason. Yalah, to show your thinking. Kalau kata more proficient student, nak showcase lagi your ability to speak, you do R. You bagi reason. The reason why I say this is because people are tired, students are tired, we are tired with our homeworks, our tuitions and extra classes. So we just want to relax and unwind. Reason. Last kali A, you ask for your partner's opinion. Do you have anything to add, Imran? Don't you agree with me, Shafiq? Do you agree with me, Mr. Zack? Okay, so you
No.
ask your partner's opinion. No. Jangan kata no. Bila you kata no, you kena fikir balik. Apa aku nak counter argument ni? Jangan.
Kena marah
That
dah.
strategy. Nah, jangan. You jangan nak berkelay nah. In exam, berkelay ni tak dapat markah. No, I don't agree with your opinion. Okay. So the same thing goes when you want to make decision. The second part of your speaking test, you need to make a decision together. Make a decision ni maksudnya apa? Buat keputusan. Dalam banyak-banyak main point dekat situ, point dalam mind map tu, yang mana satu yang you nak pilih. Okay? Interlocutor and assessor bukan nak tengok who speaks better or point mana yang lebih. Tak ada jawapan yang betul atau salah pun. You can just pilih mana-mana point and then you katalah ini yang you dua setuju. Betul atau salah, tak ada kena mengena. Because the focus of the task, fokus tugasan itu adalah for you to show the interlocutor, for you to show the assessor that you and your partner can make a decision together.
Yeah.
Macam satu kelas yang tengoklah, I asyik teringat my student aja. Satu kelas yang I ajak ni, mereka ni pandai cakap orang putih. Jadi mereka duk berkelay. I think I would choose A. Kawan ni choose B. Lepas tu duk orang berkelay. Kita duk tengok jam dah, 1 minit. Tak buat decision juga. That is bad. Okay? Because tugasannya adalah you need to show that you are able to make a decision. Okay? So apa yang you akan buat adalah, kalau tadi Mr. Imran kata, to start a discussion, preferably kita bagi kepada more proficient student yang lebih cakap orang putih. Tapi when you want to make a decision, you bagi kepada yang kurang cakap untuk mula. Okay? You akan mula macam ni. S. Which one should we choose? Okay? Jawablah Syafiq kata, oh, bila speaker tu dah tanya which one should we choose, jangan dah jawab. I think we should choose this one. Dah itu berlakon saja. Oh, that's a difficult question. I'm not so sure. What do you think? Macam tu. So that is why you kena tengok. Soal-soal barulah you faham I cakap apa ni. Cikgu-cikgu you duk angguk-angguk pasal mereka dah tengok dah, mereka dah faham dah. Okay?
Yeah.
So you need to look at the strategy, then only you'll be able to understand what I'm saying. Alright? And then pilih your choice, and then speaker number 2, you agree with your partner's choice. And you mesti sebut last kali in soal-soal, you agree with your partner's choice and state again yang this is your decision. Well, I am glad we can both agree that the reason why people love to watch TV is because they want to unwind. Okay. Ada markah extra selain dari discussion tak? I'm not so sure what you mean by that. Tapi untuk speaking, kita akan nilai you from your grammar, okay, your vocabulary, your communicative competence, and the overall performance. Okay, kalau you boleh bagi good vocab, good grammar, ialah you dapat markah for those two criteria. Tapi kalau you tak boleh tunjuk yang you boleh carry out a discussion with your partner, you akan hilang markah untuk communicative competence dan juga untuk overall performance. Jadi jangan nak fokus hanya untuk part 2, tapi when you want to discuss with your partner, tak ada discussion. Katakanlah Syafiq, okay? Syafiq kata, tak maulah dia discuss. Yang penting aku cakap all these 3 points, and then dah. Syafiq pun cakap point number 1, point number 2, point number 3. Habis dia cakap. And then dia tanya kawan dia, do you agree with me? Dia tanya Imran. And then Imran pun talk about point number 4, point number 5, point number 6. Okay, dah. Discussion. That is not a discussion. Discussion adalah when you can contribute to you contribute to your partner's point of view, you respond kepada partner's point of view, itu baru discussion. Kalau Syafiq cakap mula, Syafiq berhenti cakap, Imran cakap pula, that is not discussion. That is part 2. Seorang cakap, habis. Seorang cakap, habis. Okay? So please use go to my previous session, watch the video, look at the strategy. You masuk Moodle. In Moodle, I've already shared the module, the script for Sora, the sample questions on how you can carry out your speaking practice with your partner. Penting untuk you and your partner, both of you, sebab you dah tahu dah who's going to be your partner for the speaking test. Jadi, Zahurail, Emir, kalau Emir sahaja yang tengok strategi suara-suara tu, tapi your partner tak tengok, nanti Emir nak discuss dengan partner susah lah. Sebab partner tak tahu nak cakap apa. Partner tak boleh contribute. Okay? So, Emir, you need to make sure that you and your partner, both of you, watch suara-suara, go through the notes, go through the module, so that you can have, sort of a good practice.
Thank you, Aiman.
Aiman,
Yes.
what about the question from Farisma? What if our partner does not want to speak at all during part 3?
Okay. What if your partner does not want to speak in part 3? Supposedly, if you saw, you have something to say, even though you don't know the meaning of the word. Sepatutnya macam tu. Because teacher pun mengajar murid yang lemah juga. And my students boleh juga bercakap walaupun tak faham maksud. Okay. Orang putih kata you fake it till you make it lah. Alright. Tapi let's say your partner still refuse to speak in part 3, just give your partner about 5 seconds of thinking time. Kita kena bagi juga masa untuk dia berfikir. Takut sekali lagi dia tengah fikir dia nak cakap apa, tapi tak cakap. But how long? Kita tak boleh bagi terlalu lama sangat. Give your partner about 5 seconds of thinking time. If let's say he or she still tak boleh juga nak give any kind of response, then you may proceed. You sambung aja. Okay, if you follow steps in soal-soal mesti tak ada masalah. InsyaAllah. Okay, tapi sebelum you nak mula sambung, okay, before you proceed, please say this to your partner. I hope you don't mind if I continue. Or you kata, may I proceed? Or you say, do you mind if I proceed and we'll come back to you later? Sebab apa? Kita nak nampakkan pada the examiner, the interlocutor and the assessor, that we are being considerate of our partner. Tak mau kita ni pentingkan diri sahaja. Dekat kita je. Kadang-kadang benda little things ni pun akan annoy the interlocutor and assessor juga. Kalau dia saja nak cakap, macam dia saja yang pandai, tak include the partner in the discussion. So we want to show the examiner, the interlocutor and the assessor that we are considerate of our partner. So kita bagi dia 5 seconds of thinking time and then we ask politely before we proceed. Okay, even though we ask politely before we proceed, kita tak expect pun untuk dia nak kata apa-apa, kita memang nak proceed juga. But ask politely. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, okay. I
Okay,
have something to add,
yeah, yeah.
Shafiq, quickly,
Yeah, Mr. Z.
regarding Farah's question. Okay, actually sekarang dah tahu dah partner siapa,
Yeah,
and
betul.
then you can practice. And then if you have serious issues, your partner doesn't want to speak, please get help from your teacher. Okay, I'm sure your teacher can assist you. Besides what Teacher Aiman has shared, Sora. Okay, get help. Consult your teachers. Okay.
Okay, for those who are still, maybe you're still questioning what is Sora, what is Sora, semua dah sebut Sora tadi. Okay, you can go back to Yayasan IMPAK YouTube channel. Okay, goes to Madam's Aiman session. Okay, in that session, she had explained everything about Sora. Ada modul apa semua kan. Dalam Moodle pun ada modul je. Okay, now we are moving into the last part, which is going to be listening, everyone. Okay, ready for listening? Okay, Mr. Z. Okay, first question is for you. What should I do to score in part one? Part one listening, multiple choice questions.
Okay, before that, sorry,
Yep.
I think I would answer Liana's question. Boleh tak
Mm-hmm.
mencelah
Oh,
apabila
okay.
partner kita bercakap untuk bantu dia? I think can. That would be how you can communicate, but not all the time. Okay, if there is a need, you can say a few things to help your partner to proceed to say something. Okay, so back to the question for listening. Okay, sorry now 10:35. So to all the candidates, focus your mind, okay, on listening paper. Okay. So the question, how can I score? How can candidates score in part one? Of course, in part one, you will listen to seven different texts, seven different audios. All right. So it is challenging. Memang bukan mudah. Okay, anak-anak, calon sekalian. Okay. However, you have to do this. You have to listen at the same time. You need to try to read the question. Okay, because the question also gives you info about what you are listening to. Okay, uh, and then try to, if you are not sure, okay, let's say you are not sure about the answer, make a guess. Teka dulu. Okay, of course, make a smart guess. Teka dengan bijak. Maybe you mark with your pencil. Then when you listen for the second time, okay, you should confirm your answer. Okay. All right, I guess that's all for your question, Shafiq.
Okay. Now to question number two. Listening. Mr. Imran. Okay, Mr. Z has been talking about part number one. Okay, what are the tips that can be offered in part one?
Alright, so please remember for part 1, you will be given one stimulus each. Satu bahan rangsangan untuk satu soalan. One question, satu teks ke, satu advertisement iklan ke, dialog ke, comic strips ke. So you need to know the keyword in each question in the text and also in the question. Alright, kamu mesti faham dulu keyword dia dulu. Okay, so for example, if the question talk about the ladies dislikes apa, so pay attention to the info about apa benda yang dia tak suka tu. Probably dalam bahan stimulus, dalam comic strip or in the advertisement or in the short text, mungkin ada sebut tentang apa yang dia tak suka. Mungkin dia tak guna perkataan dislike. Mungkin walaupun maybe dia guna don't like tu pun dislike, sama maksud sebenarnya. Okay, do not prefer, tak minat. Okay, avoid, elakkan. Yang tu boleh jadi dislike. So look at the keyword of each question before you answer the question themselves. Remember, satu bahan rangsangan, one stimulus for one question for part one. Untuk part lain, dia lain pula. Okay? Alright, back to you, Syafiq.
Okay, Sahara, what about part two? Do you have any
Okay.
suggestion, tips on part two?
Yes, okay. Before I move on to part 2, I would like to add for part 1. Okay, seperti mana student semua tahu, part 1 ni kan 7 different audio. Okay, so I also would recommend you dengar pada tone voice. Okay, tone voice dia macam mana, and then don't guess the answer options too quickly. Remember that sebab I realize one thing in part 1, they will say everything. which are in the options. But it's just that you have to take note sometimes of even present tense, past tense. Okay, so maybe she would have said that I want to see a dermatologist, but I have tried vitamin C cream. I have used many other products. It doesn't work for me. So you tengok dia punya ni. Tapi soalan said what the speaker wants. So they play with the tenses. So you have to check with all those things when you answer part 1. Listen attentively. Jangan quickly guess the answer. Okay, let's move on to part 2. As you all know, listening is mainly soalan listening ni mainly is to make sure that you understand the main ideas. Okay, whether you understand main ideas and specific information dalam audio ke tak, itulah dia punya main idea kan, listening. So as you all know, when you read through the question, okay, part 2 ni you kena ingat the whole audio is only about one thing. Example, like let's say they're talking about online shopping. So the whole thing is about online shopping. Maybe the speaker is going to say about the advantages, disadvantages, example of online shopping and all those things in part 2. Okay, sebab dia pasal satu kandungan sahaja. So when you answer this, I would say that, okay, you will have 1 minute before. Okay, you must know listening ada 3 stage. Pre-listening is before you listen. Okay, pre-listening stage, read the instruction, underline the keywords in the question and also the answer options. So untuk part 2, underline the options punya keywords. Okay, underline the keywords in the answer options and in like very quickly you have to do that because you ada hanya 1 minit untuk baca soalan dengan answer options kan. So quickly you jot down that particular question tu ditanya pasal apa ataupun you highlight or do something. Okay, and then during the first listening, okay, you try to figure the answers. Kalau you tak dapat, okay, what you have to do is that you move on to the next question immediately. Jangan tunggu dekat situ because you're going to miss other information. Sebab audio tu memang pasal satu benda je. If you don't listen carefully, you are going to miss everything, right? So quickly you move as you listen. Okay. In part 2, I always give suggestion or tips that they have to listen to these connectors, okay, and all these dia punya kata apa kita kata penyambung lah, because to show that the transition of one sentence to one idea to another idea and all those things. So pay attention to all these things and then sambil you dengar, sambil tu you kena pilih jawapan. Okay, that's all.
Okay, Sahara. We have questions from the students. Yeah, asking about partner. Okay, this one your teacher should know it. Okay, because they already been briefed how to arrange your partner. Okay. Okay, then let us move to the next question. How should I take notes as I listen to the audio? Okay, obviously you're doing a listening test. Okay, you're taking down notes. Okay, Aiman, what can they do while taking notes?
Okay, when you will be given time to read the question first. So during the time given to read the question, make sure you read all questions. And while reading, bila kita kata read the question, it is not, bukan read macam ni lah. Baca soalan, no. That is not reading. That is berlakon reading. Okay? When we ask you to read the question, because this is what annoy me the most. Bila kita kata, okay, read the question. Cik, tangan macam ni. Read the question. Tak pegang pen pun. Ni nak marah dah ni. Okay? Sis marah dah. When you read the question, you hold your pencil, you jot down keywords, or if there's anything, mana dia identify keywords, you underline, you circle here, you circle there, so that later when you listen to the audio, you tahu what are the notes yang you need to jot down. Okay? Otherwise, you'll be jotting down notes yang irrelevant because you tak tahu, too overwhelmed. You bukannya you jot down notes nah, you try to salin balik. Buat transcription pula kat situ. Kawan ni kata apa, kawan ni kata apa. That is not how you should be doing it. Okay, read the question, identify the keywords, and then when you listen to the audio, okay, what you can do is you can write the keyword in the sentence. Contohnya, that audio is about ways to study. Okay. So what you can do as you listen, you branch out your notes. You buat point number one. But just write keywords. Never write sentences. Panjang sangat. Just write keywords. Okay. Now, my favorite way of taking down notes during a listening test is to write notes near the questions, near the options, because just now masa reading time I dah baca soalan, I dah baca the options, I dah identify the keywords. So when I listen, I like to write notes next to the questions, next to the options, sebelah pilihan jawapan. I suka tulis situ. Okay, ini betul, ini salah. I buat macam tu. So, because easy. I tengok balik yang notes yang I buat masa I reading dengan notes yang I buat while I was listening. Macam tu. Okay, so I think that is a good tips lah for you probably would like to apply, because you see time is very limited. Okay, time is very limited. So please use any kind of short form or symbol as long as you are able to understand your notes. Okay, kadang-kadang I dapat listening paper tapi kertas listening tu bersih macam I baru bagi. Tak ada pun. And then student kata listening tu susah. Tapi sebenarnya strategi tu tak kena. Okay, so this is something that you can do, because I feel like when I was a student, this helps me. Okay, over to you, Shafiq.
Yes, I think we have question from Fatih Nasuha. Um, Imran, can you entertain the questions? The question is, for the last part, can the word in each blank be more than one word?
Okay, that's a very good question. Why? Kenapa? Because it happens to proficient student, excellent students pun buat mistake yang sama. Alright, it depends on the instruction, okay, that you get in the real examination during your SPM later. If it says no more than one word, maksudnya jangan lebih daripada satu perkataan. Alright, if it says no more than two words, of course it should be one or two words, satu atau dua patah perkataan sahaja. Please read the instruction first. Underline, highlight, macam Meda Iman kata, use your pen, use your pencil, use your highlighter. Tolong highlight. Kenapa? Maybe awal-awal kamu perasan, tapi sebab kamu tak highlight, betul seronok sangat dengar audio, seronok sangat jawab soalan when you are very excited. Okay, I get the answers. Alright. Terus jawab saja, and then you forget that it should be no more than one word. Terus pangkah. Alright, so be careful. Read the questions carefully. Read the instruction carefully. Okay, alright, good question, Fatin.
Okay, because we are already in part 4. Okay, part 4. Let's go backward. Okay, let's go backward into part number 3. I missed that part just now. Mr. Z, can you give tips on how they should do in part number 3? Any tips on part number 3?
Okay, thank you, Shafiq. So
Yeah.
to all the candidates, part 3, okay, will test your ability to understand what each speaker says. Okay, dia akan ada 5 speaker. Okay, you will listen to 5 orang bercakap. Okay, speaker A kata apa, speaker B kata apa. Okay, so the first tip would be, okay, of course, as you listen, you need to jot down keywords. Okay, kalau boleh, because I know time is limited, just 1 or 2 keywords. Tulis siap-siap di soalan tu S1. S1, speaker 1. Okay, what are the keywords? Okay, the keyword tu akan merujuk kepada idea lah, the main idea yang each speaker says. Okay, S2, 2 more keywords. Okay, and then tip number 2, you have to look at the options given, A until G. Okay, you have these options. Try to kaitkan your keywords tadi dengan option-option yang ada. Okay, I'm sure you will be able to relate, kaitkan, because that will help you to get the correct answer. Okay, jadi of course everything needs practice. Practice makes perfect. Okay, try to apply. If you don't know how to answer part 3, cuba Write down one or two keywords as you listen. S1 kata apa, S2 kata apa, okay, speaker 2, and then try to relate. Okay, sempat lagi. I'm sure you still have time to do 2, 3 practices for listening. Okay, inshallah, try.
InsyaAllah.
Okay. Uh, Now, okay, we still got one question. I think this one I'm going to give it to Sahara. Okay, what exam tips for part number 4, the last part in listening? What are your tips for part number 4?
Okay, part number 4, as you all know, so far, the question, I mean, the instruction says that you have to write one word, right? So when it comes to one word, apa yang you dengar, itu yang you tulis. Jangan pandai-pandai ubah. Or sometimes they say in the audio huge, tapi you rasa tak mau I nak letak big, tak payahlah, tak payah ubah apa. Just write as how you listen. Okay, one more thing. How, teacher, macam mana lah I nak tahu jawapan dia? You always ask this question to me, even my students kan? Okay, so as you listen to what people is saying in the audio, you also, your eyes must follow the sentences on your paper. Okay, it must be like, you know, it must be concurrent. You have to listen while you see. Okay, bukan you dengar, lepas tu you sedang mimpi ke dalam dunia kayangan, cannot. Okay, so you have to listen sambil you tengok you punya paper tu lah. So for sure the answers are there. Okay, dia memang you, kalau you dengar betul-betul you boleh jawab. Okay, as Mr. Zanurin said, practice makes perfect lah kan. So when you practice you will know. Okay, and another thing, macam mana you nak dapat clue untuk jawapan? You have to look at some of the like tenses, okay, subject verb agreement. Okay, kalau tepi dia kena ada apa? Start with what type of word. Kalau and, what type of word? Kan? Kalau dia ada the, apa jawapan yang paling sesuai? If many, okay. Kalau pronoun, okay, dia, okay, what? They ke? Sometimes these are the things. And you also remember, there are also words which ask you to write in singular or plural. Itu pun you kena take note whether it's a singular word or it's a plural. Sebab kalau ada takkanlah dia nak jadi plural kat tepi tu. Kalau mestilah singular. Okay, and then these are the things, okay, and some of the time like you nak tahu transition daripada satu ayat ke satu ayat, speaker tu cakap, listen to the connectors they use, okay, cohesive devices they use. Okay, sebab tu saya kata ujian pendengaran mestilah dengar. Jangan ujian pendengaran you dalam dunia kayangan anda sendiri. So for sure you cannot pay attention. Okay. So when you listen, you have to really listen attentively. That's why people say, okay. So bila you datang untuk paper listening on 21st of February, make sure you sleep well, okay, cukup tidur and everything baru datang. Sebab pagi ke petang we don't know. But you have to know that mindset, concentration is 100% there. Okay, so that's all from me.
Okay, great tips by teacher Sahara. Okay, which ends our session for the last part. Okay, which is the listening part.
Okay, one more thing, Shafiq, I forgot to say.
Sure.
Okay, for part 4 ni, okay, spelling. Yang ni saya lupa sebab saya pun lama tengok laptop, saya lupa. Okay, for spelling kan. Okay, students and then teacher, how about the spelling for part 4? Okay, as for now, saya akan mengesyorkan for safe sake, better write in a proper spelling lah. Okay, jangan miss. Okay, better. It's up to the decision of the examiners whether they want to give you marks or not if you misspell the word. Okay, but untuk kita punya keselamatan, kita kenalah eja dengan betul. Okay, remember that. Okay, proper spelling. And okay, before you write the answers, okay, macam ni bila you dengar, teacher, I cuba spell, teacher, waktu tu juga. Jangan waktu tu juga spell. You tulis dulu macam mana you tahu spell. Nanti you have 6 minutes to transfer the answer. Wah, waktu tu memang 6 minit tu banyak you nak transfer. Okay, so masa tu you spell betul-betul. You spell betul-betul, you fikir. Okay, lagi satu tips saya nak bagi. Bila you baca soalan untuk part 4, guess the possible answers for the blanks. Guess the answer, possible answers for the blank. Sebelum you dah dengar pun you dah tahu. When you baca, when you read the text itself, you will know about what is the text, what are they going to talk. And one thing, please analyze the paragraph. Sebab untuk part 4 ada 2-3 paragraph kalau tak silap saya. Okay, analyze. Paragraph ni dia cakap pasal apa? Paragraph ni dia cakap pasal apa? That will help you to identify the correct answers. You boleh guess the answer walaupun you miss dengar the audio. Bila you dah analyze, oh dia dah pergi ke paragraph ni. Okay, I have to focus to this paragraph now. So these are the thing. Okay, whenever you answer listening, be smart. Even for part 3 tadi, Sir Zainuddin kata write short notes kan. Sambil you write the short notes, you tengok perbezaan antara A to G tu. Apa perbezaan A sampai G tu orang tu cakap. All these things you have to analyze. You boleh kata, teacher, I ada 1 minit je. Teacher want me to do all this? You can do. Okay, I tell you, you can do. 1 minute, anggaplah 60 saat. Banyak tu. Okay, so that's all.
Yes, Sarah, everyone can do it. Okay, the things that I realized with the new format that everything is possible. Okay, I've seen students from D getting B. Yes, okay, it's the fact. It's easy to score. And Mr. Z, because the format is new to everybody, I think that it is necessary to have target for each paper. I believe you are going to share about that one, sir. Is it?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Z going to share with you how to set up your target.
Okay. Can the PowerPoint be seen?
Okay, not yet. Oh, we have to be the admin. Wait.
All right, while waiting, Madam Sahara, you talk about the students have 6 minutes to transfer their answers. So meaning, is it advisable for them to answer on the question paper itself first before transferring, or what?
Yes, I would advise them to answer on the question paper first. Jangan rugi masa pergi letak dekat belakang. You answer everything on that time first. Lepas tu you mesti memang ada masa for you to transfer. It's not from me, it's from the examination syndicates themselves. Okay, kalau you tak percaya apa yang teacher cakap, pergi tengok apa e-didik punya TV tu ada for SPM Tips English in examination syndicates yang share. So that's why I am like bravely sharing this information. Yes.
Okay, sir, it's now all yours.
Okay. Is the slide moving?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay. So the last part. Okay, boys and girls, to all the candidates. Okay, I think actually I already shared these materials, this input during the first session. However, we believe we should revise. Okay, as all of you know. Okay, as all of you know, I hope all of you know that each paper carries 25%. Okay, each paper is equally important. So now let's look at the targeted mark for your SPM. Okay, overall, or in general, we know that. Okay, if for the reading paper you get A plus, writing A plus, speaking A plus, listening A plus, you also get A plus. Okay, or like number 3, if your reading is B, writing you get a B, speaking C plus, listening B, most probably you will get a B. Okay, so you need to see this. Okay, and if you want a copy of this, okay, you can go to my blog. I have already shared this material in my blog. Okay, so now reading, you could see there I have shared from A plus until E. So you have to know your target. You must know your target. First of all, where are you now? What grade did you get? I mean, what mark did you get for your SPM trial paper. Let's say you get a C, okay, for your reading. So in order to set your target for the real SPM, maybe you target to get an A minus. So you have to know the minimum scores, the minimum marks which you must get for every part. Reading, as you know, there are 5 parts. Okay. So it's already 11 a.m. Okay, let me proceed. So this is for writing, and I will be sharing this table for listening, for speaking. As I said, you can download this material from my blog. Just type my name, Zanurin. You will get. Now you just listen. Okay, because the message is the same. Okay, to all boys and girls, anak-anak calon SPM 2021, you must have your target. Okay, for every paper, this is writing, this is speaking, okay, and this is the minimum marks for listening. Okay, you see, in order to get A plus for listening, okay, listening you need to get 27/30, baru dapat 90%, which is an A plus. Okay, and if you look at E, okay, you must get 12/30 marks. Okay, 12 bahagi 30, okay, we will get 40%. So it's not that difficult for you to pass, okay. Let's say you have not passed your English paper. Nanti tengok balik markah minimum bagi setiap paper. Okay, minimum to get an E. Okay, if you have been failing the English paper, or as I said, if your target is to get A minus, tengok balik markah minimum bagi setiap kertas for each paper, what must you get in every part in order to score your A minus. Okay, so this one I already mentioned, each paper carries 25%. So kami share bahan ini sekali lagi, hoping that all of you, before you sit for your SPM, dah jelas. Okay, so what you can see here, let's say reading, you only get 25/40. Okay, betul 25. So you will carry 16%. And then for writing, let's say you only get 50/60. Okay, 50/60. You will carry 21%. So this kind of info, this kind of very important input, all of you must be very clear. Okay, for speaking. Let's say these are examples. Okay, speaking you get 12/24. Kalau di-convert, dikira, you will carry 13%. Okay, samalah listening. Ini kaedah pengiraan dia. So, you know that 25 kali 4, 100. Okay. Of course, the perfect score is for case number 1. Now, you look at case number 2. Okay. These are examples. If listening, you carry 21%, speaking 21%, reading 22%, writing 23%, the total is 87%, which will allow you to get an A. Okay, look at case 4. Case 4, let's say listening only 17%, speaking 17%, reading 16%, writing 17%. So the total will be 67%, which would give you a B+. So target ini penting. Termasuklah, okay, saya tak maulah tunjuk yang nak lulus, but you can count on your own. Okay, so let's say case number 6. If you get 56%, C plus will be yours. Okay, so boys and girls, to all the candidates, it is important that all of you must have a target for each part in each paper. Okay, nanti tengok balik. Okay, you can slowly look at this material. Okay, you can download from my blog. And walaupun, okay, even though SPM is just around the corner, you must have your clear target. Okay, whether your target is a B plus or A plus, and you still have time to make plans. Okay, based on the tips that teacher Sahara, teacher Aiman, Mr. Imran, and Mr. Shafiq have given. Okay, apply them. Try to apply them. Still, it is not too late. Okay, to do something, to prepare yourself so that you can achieve your target. Okay, so I guess with that note, I would end this presentation. Hopefully, inshallah, okay. Okay, of course, Mr. Shafi will do the closure, not me. Cuma, since I'm talking, okay, of course, on my part, I would pray, I would hope that all of you, okay, achieve the best. But you have to try your best. Okay, thanks.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Zanuri. Okay, let's go around the screen. Okay, around the screen. Okay, Madam Sahara, do you have anything to say as closure?
Okay, best wishes to all the XPM candidates and do the best.
Madam Aiman.
Okay, I would like to wish everyone, all the candidates, all the best. And I'm sure that with enough preparation, you'll feel more confident, you feel more equipped for the battle. So please use the time left to prepare, and please try utilize all the tips that we have shared today. I really hope that tips shared in this session will be useful to each and every one of you.
Okay, Mr. Imran, you're smiling there.
All right, first of all, I would like again to thank Yes and IMPAK, Delta, and of course our awesome moderator, Mr. Shafiq. Very good, very engaging. Okay. So I would like to thank all of you guys for being here, for my student and for all of your students and for all students in Malaysia. So for you guys, do your best. We are here for you guys. We are here. Your teachers are all here for you. For every subject, not only for English, PM, Sejarah, Math, Science, everyone is here. Are here for you guys. So please utilize us. Gunakan kami sebaik mungkin. Of course dengan adab, dengan elok lah. Alright, please ask us anything. Ask your teachers. Okay, if we do not know something, we will refer to those who know. Don't worry, we are here to help you. Do your best. Prepare from now. Apa yang kamu dapat tips ni jangan kata bergunanya. Okay, nak practice dalam masa SPM. No, practice from now. Please. Okay. All the best. InsyaAllah, all of you. I hope you guys will deliver success to yourself, your family, and of course to your school, your teachers. And that for those who are now facing the challenge of having COVID-19, because as you all know, in Kedah, several schools already have been hit by COVID-19 pandemic. My schools included. Okay, yesterday dah confirmed dah. Three of my students positive for Form 5. Now all of them are quarantined with our PKHAM and the wardens in the dorms in their hostel right now. Okay, so I pray for all of your well-being. Stay safe. Do not forget to study. And again, well, we are all here for you.
Yeah, very true, Imran. Kami ni rela dipergunakan. See? Okay, make use of all of our videos. Okay, you can go back into Yayasan IMPAK YouTube channel. Okay, rewatch everything. Okay, relearn the tips. Okay, maybe some of them had been, gone away from you for quite a while. So you revisit those videos. And again, I would like to thank Yayasan IMPAK and Majlis Guru Cemerlang Negeri Kedah. And we, teachers from Delta, would like to wish you good luck. Okay, hopefully everyone will do well in their exams. And remember, everything is possible. Okay, everyone, wave a Okay, see you everyone. Bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a nice day.